This time of year, the Christmas season, always brings back happy memories of special moments spent with family and friends. And I'm going to share a special recipe with you now that actually came from my grandmother. And she noted on it that she got it from her sister, my Aunt Edna. And she and my Aunt Edna exchanged lots of recipes with each other over the years. They both lived well into their 90s and were both excellent cooks. So I'm happy to share their recipe with you now for cherry coffee cake. And as far as the ingredients go, most of them I have left the same as my grandma wrote them down. I've just replaced some of the all-purpose flour with whole wheat pastry flour. And I've also added to the instructions on how to make it because she didn't leave a lot of detailed instructions on how to put the coffee cake together. So to start out with, I'm going to put 1 cup of sugar and a cup of canola oil in a bowl here. And I'm just going to stir those 2 ingredients together till they're thoroughly combined. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm going to add 4 eggs. And I'm going to do this one at a time. And I'm going to stir well after each addition. And adding them one at a time helps them mix in better. So here's the second egg. And I'd like to add that I have these eggs at room temperature. When they're at room temperature, they'll also mix in better than if you take them straight out of the fridge. And that's because as the eggs warm up more, they become softer. The yolk becomes softer. Okay, so I'll put the 3rd egg in. And now the 4th egg. Okay, great. That looks thoroughly combined. Now I'm going to add something else to this mixture, and that is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm using pure vanilla extract for excellent flavor. So we'll get that in. And I will stir that in too. Oh, that smells so nice. Okay, I'll just set that off to the side for a minute. I have another bowl here in which I'm going to place some dry ingredients. And I'm going to put 1½ cups of all-purpose flour in here. Okay, and then ½ cup of whole wheat pastry flour. And the leavening comes next, and that will be a teaspoon of baking powder. And now I'll just stir all of that together. Okay, that looks good. Now I'll just add these dry ingredients to my wet ingredient mixture. And we'll stir that together too. want to make sure that I have this thoroughly combined so that I don't see any more dry ingredients. Okay, well that is a nice smooth mixture. So now I'm going to grab my baking pan, and I have a 9-inch by 13-inch baking pan here that I have greased. And what I'm going to do now is pour about half of this batter into the pan. So we'll get about half of it in. I just have to eyeball it. I'll start with that. And now I'll just spread this evenly in the pan. I'll just use my spatula here and get it out to the corners of the pan. And at this point, I can just see if I need to add some more. It looks like I might need to. I want to make sure that the bottom of the pan is covered with batter. So you don't have to be exact on this, but you should have at least half of the batter on the bottom of the pan. So I will add a little bit more. I'll just spoon some more in there. And when I'm spreading this out, I want to get it even, an even layer, so that it'll bake evenly. And so I'll just continue spreading this till I feel that everything is evenly distributed throughout the pan. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to just set this off to the side for a minute. And I've got another bowl back here in which I'm going to mix together a cinnamon sugar topping. And I've got half a cup of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And so I'm going to just stir that together with a spoon. It smells so wonderful. I just love putting cinnamon in my holiday desserts. Cinnamon is truly one of my favorite spices. So I'm just going to kind of divide this in half here a little bit, because I'm going to just use half of it right now. I'm going to sprinkle half of this cinnamon sugar mixture over the batter in my pan. This is just going to give this coffee cake such nice flavor. Okay, I think I've got half of the cinnamon sugar mixture on here. So I'll stop with that. And now I have a 21-ounce can of cherry pie filling. And I'm going to spoon that on top of the cinnamon sugar mixture. I'm going to use the whole can of pie filling and get this evenly distributed on top of the batter and cinnamon sugar. The cherries just look so pretty and so Christmassy with their red color. Now the reason that I'm spooning this on top, instead of just pouring the can of cherries on top of the batter, is because the batter could really get mixed up in the cherries, and then I would have a nice layer of cake on the bottom. So I'm doing that just to be gentle and to maintain the layer character of this dessert. And spooning the cherry filling on top of the batter also gives me more control over where the filling lands. Okay, I think I've got all of the cherry filling out of this can, so I'll just use my spatula just to get every last bit. So, very good. All right, now what I'm going to do is spoon the rest of the batter on top of the cherries. And again, I'm using a spoon so that it'll maintain the layer character of this dessert. Okay, I think I've got all the batter out of my bowl that I can get out. So now I'll just gently, I think I'll use my spatula here, just gently kind of move this top layer of batter over the cherries. Okay, very nice. So now what I will do is take the remainder of my cinnamon sugar mixture and sprinkle that on top of the batter. Okay, I've almost got all of my cinnamon sugar mixture used here. So I'll get the last little bit out. I'll just kind of dump that out there. Okay, so now I am ready to bake this coffee cake. And I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes. I'll grab my oven mitts here and we'll get this cherry cake, coffee cake baking. And it smells so good in here. So I just know that when it smells so nice, the cake is done or close to it. So we'll just give this another few seconds to go off. And I'm so excited about taking my cake out and giving it a little test to make sure it's done. And I do have a toothpick here, and here goes the timer. So we'll check the cake. It just looks wonderful. And I'll slide it all the way out here and take my toothpick and just stick that in the middle of the cake and pull it out. And there is no batter sticking to the toothpick, so I know that my cake is done. So I will take it out of the oven now, and I'll put it here on this rack to cool. So I'll close my oven and I can turn it off. And I'll just let this cake cool completely. And when it's cool, I'll cut it into pieces and give it a taste. So join me back here when my cake is all ready to try. Well, my coffee cake has all cooled off, and I've already dished out one piece, and I'm gonna get another one here. Enjoy! It just smells so good, and I'm so looking forward to tasting this. Just filled with cherries. It's a nice light cake. so. Now I'll take a taste. Mmm. That is so good. So flavorful. Such a nice treat to enjoy. I really like that crunchy cinnamon sugar topping too. So now I wish you all a bright and happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year with lots of fun in the kitchen.